take you home again, Kathleen.
So I believe Karen has a slide up here with all the volunteers listed. There we go. Thank you to all of you that signed up for those jobs. Thank you to Trevor for doing words of inspiration. And Kurt Orman not only is going to do guest intros, but he actually checked in all the guests today. So thank you, Kurt. That was awesome. All right. And then we have some birthdays this past week. Bart Givens, I saw you earlier, Bart. There you are. Hi, happy birthday. We had Martin Cook is here also. Happy birthday to Martin. Karen Moody, our lovely admin and Rotarian. Kay Rendelman, Madam President-elect, and Keith Starnes, who is not here. So you may have each realized that you have a kazoo in front of you or somewhere near you. And these were all taken very good care of. They're all, you know, clean. Nobody sucked on them before you. And so if somebody can tell me which end to blow in, the big one? No, is it? No, it's a small one, right? It is the big one. Yes, yes. So we're all going to sing happy birthday to these wonderful people who are here today and have celebrated a birthday. Are you ready? Lovely. That was awesome, you guys. Thank you. I was just thinking that it's not every day that you get to celebrate your president-elect's birthday and your special admin and Rotarian. And then I realized, well, actually, it's once a year. So that's how my brain thinks. We have some, yes, thank you. It was on overdrive. So we have some Rotary Anniversaries this week. Again, Madam President-elect is celebrating 5 years in Rotary. And Chris Lewis, did I see? Oh, Chris isn't here. She's going to be here next week. She's celebrating 5 years as well. And Marv Thomason, 41 years. That's very nice. Very nice. Okay, so if I could have Mr. Kurt Orman come forward to introduce our guests, please.
You guys remember Wednesday was a great day. And how many of you have ever jumped out of an airplane? Well, my first time on that very clear day, I was waiting in the airplane to see what was going on. And this guy grabs me. He says, "You're about my size. We'll go down together." And I said, "Okay." I never had seen him before in my life. So we jumped out together. And on the way down, he said, "How long have you been an instructor?" I get a lot of goofy ones. Let's see. Rodney, you want to introduce Mike? Here comes the microphone.
Hello, my fellow Rotarians. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to bring a friend of mine that I've met out in the community a while ago, man, back when you were with the BBB we met. Yeah, social media guy, right? You were a sales guy.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Doing a good job. I'm letting him introduce himself. So welcome him. Here you go.
Thank you, Rodney.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Rotary. I am Michael Garner, the Enterprise Relations Manager for a company called Underline. We are an open access fiber optic internet company coming to Colorado Springs. I'm very excited to be here with all of you today.
Rodney, keep on going, buddy. We got Shisha Flowers.
All right. We have Daisha, and I'm going to give her the mic so she can introduce herself.
You're too kind. Hello, everyone. I am Daisha Flowers. I'm actually visiting from Charlotte, North Carolina. As a full-time, I'm an associate consultant working in a technical firm, but part-time and really my passion. I'm the founder of Miss Madeline's Pay It Forward Foundation, a nonprofit servicing Alabama focused on community service, community action, as well as establishing a domestic violence program. I'm extremely happy to be here as a +1 for Mr. Rodney, but more excited to see what Rotary does and how I can contribute as a young woman to my community and be a member as well. So thank you all for having me today.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You bet.
Don't stop recording yet. Hey, James Flowers, I got your daughter. She's in good hands, brother. Thank you.
Miss Flowers is from Charlotte, and I was a visitor of Charlotte a lot in my freshman year of college because I went to Davidson College for a year and a half, and there were a lot of pretty girls in Charlotte. And let's see, I missed that one. Oh, okay, that's good. Let's see. You want to introduce Scott?
No, he's going to be introduced.
Okay. And let's see, Tamara, John, you're going to do.
Yes, I am, but excuse me, I forgot to grab her card, so I think she can probably introduce herself better. So Paul, if you could get her the microphone, please. And Tamara, you can introduce yourself to everyone and tell them all the great stuff you do.
Oh, thank you. Tamara John, you can call me Tam if that's easy or for you. There are a lot of different ways to pronounce Tamara. You can find me in my business at tamjohn.com, but I would just say I am a health promoter. I've authored a book, have a holistic wellness consultancy, and my platform is all about diet-free thriving. It's a personalized approach. I happened to reach out to Kathleen yesterday, and I didn't know that I would be joining this group today, meeting her as a member. I had the inspiration to look up Rotary Club. I even put in Briargate because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had the idea on presenting the topic. And I saw Kathleen as the president, and I haven't talked to her for maybe 5 years or longer than that. So it was just all very synchronous. Late yesterday afternoon, I emailed her and said, this is really last minute, but for a visitor at your club, it might be a great club for me to join. And I certainly am enjoying the great vibe that I'm getting from all of you today. And as a matter of fact, she had someone at her table cancel. So here I am. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Hey, we're
Thanks so
happy
much
to
for
have you.
coming. You definitely ended up at the right club. I will tell you that. All right. So, excuse me, I have some announcements that I gave last week, but I know not everybody was here then. Cass Daly is still looking for several Rotarians to volunteer on the scholarship committee. You can reach her at Cass Daly Designs at usa.net, and that's also on your tabletop flyer, I think, I hope. And then let's see. Oh, and the newsletter I announced last week as well. The newsletter does have an updated list of how you can help Ukraine. So there are a number of ways, and Habitat for Humanity is also listed on there, and their links as well. Samantha, well, there you are. Yes.
I know you guys are too much, but thank you. So just a few quick announcements. I do want to thank Carrie and Lynn Pearson, because once again, they brought donations for One Nation Walking Together. So we have one more week. I will not be here next Friday, but please bring your donations, canned goods. Are the little things still on the table? I don't think so. But I'll email it out one more time. So if you can support One Nation Walking Together, we're just collecting items for their food drive throughout the whole month of March, and we'll deliver those in April. We also have 2 Rotarians who are donating furniture, Lynn Vidler and Lynn Pearson. So if you're interested in donating furniture, you can do that, and we'll coordinate with Cass to pick that up. So lots of opportunities. And then Kathleen gave me this lovely thank you card that we got from the Trampled Rose. So I have, for those of you who support that. So the Trampled Rose is an international project, which Jordan should probably be doing this than me. What are you doing, Kathleen? So they are girls that we support as a club in Ethiopia to help them go to school and get an education and further their lives. So we have a thank you card. So I'll just read that quickly. So dear Colorado Springs Rotarians, thank you for participating as heart-to-heart sponsors. We are so happy to about Litu, Aselafah, and Brochet. We are also thrilled to introduce you to your new sponsored girls, Gannett, Jelaine, and Kabaye. You truly are helping to change these girls' lives forever. There are little summaries on the girls, which I think I'll scan and then maybe email them out that way so you can read them and enjoy. Like that? Okay. Awesome. So yeah, so I'm going to hand this off to you, Jordan, as international. And that's all I've got for right now. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you very much, Samantha. I can tell she's going to be an amazing president in 2 years. Yes. Chip Fraser, where are you? Oh, yes. Did you have anything to announce? No? No. Okay. We'll skip on past. Tina Dewey. There she is in the back.
Hi, guys. I'm excited to announce that the Flight 2022 Butterflies and Boots Gala is scheduled for September 24th at the Boot Barn. And we have been working super hard getting everything in line, and it's going to be a really fun affair, and hope everybody can attend. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Tina. Yes, yes, let's do that. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. All right. And then now I actually would like to welcome Trevor back to the stage. Trevor Deerdorf, that is, because now we have 2. And Mike Foreman also. Please come forward. And Holly was not able to be here today, but Trevor is going to present the person that he sponsored in with their white badge.
Hold your applause. So this is my friend Mike Foreman. We just met last year. He's the town manager in Monument, and it's a secret. You know, there are clubs closer to where he works than ours. There are? But there are none better than this one. So he was compelled that this would be the right be a part of. So he's a refugee from Texas, and
no hissing.
We'll take Texans over Californians any day. Except for Misty. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm sponsoring him. I think he's a great asset to our club. He's going to talk about himself a little bit. One of the things he didn't put in here that I'm going to tell you about, he is an avid model train enthusiast, and it's kind of a new addiction.
Actually, it's a reoccurring addiction.
No, he relapsed. He relapsed. So anyhow, Mike, talk through your slides.
All right. I think I have a clicker or something like that. Somebody said, oh, right there. Here we go. All right. Well, like you said, I'm Mike Foreman, town manager in Monument, Colorado. I've been in local government for about 38 years. It's been a long time. I started off at the front desk in Arlington, Texas. Any of you that have been in Arlington, I started off at the front desk as a clerk. And so what I try to do now is teach the younger generation that no matter where you start, you can end up as the head of an organization. I've been a city manager now for about 15 years. And I didn't get my my bachelor's degree till I was 43 years old. And I got my master's degree when I was 48 years old. And 15 years as a city manager put it together, I'm about 60 years old now. So I try to tell people, especially the younger generation, no matter when you start, no matter where you start, you can get to where I'm at. And also, I try to show them how to get there. And so I know I'm working with a couple colleges to come out and talk to some of the students about how they can get to where they're at today to where they want to be. So part of that's, you know, just paying back, being a town manager, but I'm also a photographer. So these are some of my photos. I got this wolf here was actually taken locally at the Wolf Preserve about 15 or 20 years ago when I first came to Colorado. I've only lived here about 6 years, but I've been visiting Colorado for about 20 years and finally left Texas and made the leap to come to Colorado. Blurry, probably the transfer, but this, the Bears were in Jackson Hole, and then these were Estes Park. So I'm clicking other way. There we go. That's one of the wolves. That's me at a younger age, and they love me so much. There we go. So these are my boys. I used to coach baseball. This was when they were kids. And as I tell them, you know, if you would have just stuck with it, you could have made $1 zillion playing baseball because they were really talented. We traveled all over the country. But as most of you know, if you push them too hard, they get about 17 and they decide they want to do something else. And so they're doing something else now, living in my basement. So that's us at the Cherry Pie Place, loving some pie there, right outside of Estes Park. Living in Monument, living in this area, I tell people that want to move here, we're literally 2 hours from everything. You can get anywhere around here in 2 hours. And we go to Estes Park almost every other week during the summer. That's my lovely daughter. We call her the star of the show because has been very successful. She graduated from Texas Tech. As soon as she graduated from Texas Tech, she got into government a little higher than I did. She's worked for 3 senators, and now she works for George Bush. She runs the George Bush Library, and she does all of Laura Bush's special events. And that's me in a younger life. I used to be a cowboy, believe it or not. I didn't wear a suit and stuff like that. That was prior to me getting my degree. So used to run around doing that. That's Grand Tetons. And this is actually, those 2 eagles were in Craig, Colorado when I was city manager there. And once again, the elk, another bear. And one of the great things about being a city manager, you get to hang out with cool people. That's Jerry Jones and 2 of his girlfriends. And that's my daughter and 2 boys. She's 30, she's pregnant, having a baby in August. Michael is 20 and Luke is 19. They're called, and to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, they're called Irish twins because they were about 14 months apart. And any questions? Okay, thank you very much. No, thank you all very much for inviting me to be a member here. One of the reason why I came here is Trevor. Got to meet Trevor, and he's influenced my life a lot. You know, introduced me to a lot of people. I've got to know, I've been in Colorado Springs and Monument for 3.5 years. We've been able to accomplish a lot of things, but he's really opened it up and introduced me to a lot of people in Colorado Springs. And I really appreciate all the people I've met here, and I look forward to meeting more. So thank you all very much for inviting me as a member.
So Well, I've got this white badge for Mike. This is not his first Rotary badge. He's actually been in Rotary now 13 years. So we've got a seasoned Rotarian joining us as a brand new white badge. So,
All right,
sir.
thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I want to introduce our speaker today. Scott Gregory is with Engineers Without Borders, and I'm really interested to hear what he's going to tell us. He's originally from Iowa, and I'm going to skip everything else because I want to get him up on this platform really fast so that he doesn't lose more time. So Scott Gregory.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? A little closer. I'll lean forward. Better. Awesome. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation to speak here today. My name is Scott Gregory. I currently serve as a program engineer for a Colorado-based nonprofit called Engineers Without Borders USA. Today I'm here just to share a brief presentation about our organization, ways that you can collaborate as Rotarians, and just to kind of give you some insight on what we do. Throughout the discussion slides I'll be showing, you might see some alignment between the values and principles of the Rotary Club and EWB, and that's for good reason. So we actually have a long and successful relationship between Rotarians and EWB. We have hundreds of our volunteers serve in Rotary clubs in their respective communities around the world. And we also have delivered many successful projects with Rotary Global grants. So I'll talk about that a bit more. With the next about 20 minutes today, I'll just give you an introduction from our organization, shed some insight on our mission and vision, as well as just kind of give you an idea of what our impact is globally and domestically. And I'll wrap it up, of course, with some ways to connect here in our own backyard. So just to get things started, the abridged version of EWB USA's history, we were founded 20 years ago in 2002 here in Colorado by a professor at the University of Colorado Boulder. Throughout the last 20 years, our true north has been the same, and that is to essentially build a better world by empowering communities to meet their basic needs. I'm going to boil that down. What that really means is that we are in the business of supporting community-driven infrastructure projects. So community-driven is really key to everything we do. All of our projects, all of our work starts with the community and ends with the community. Communities approach EWB and request engineering services. They are involved throughout the entire design and construction process, and eventually they will take ownership and kind of maintain these systems throughout their lifespan. One of the other key aspects of our organization is that we are volunteer driven. So across 250 chapters throughout the US, we have over 10,000 volunteers that contribute towards our volunteer pool and all towards our mission. So with numbers like that, we have just great power behind all of that knowledge base. We also support both domestic and international programs. So we have projects both here in Colorado as well as in 38 countries internationally. So I'll talk about that as well. Most of our projects are infrastructure projects related on these 6 key sectors. So water and sanitation, those are the 2 main project types, as well as structures like a school or a hospital, energy projects, civil works, and basic agriculture projects. Just to give you an idea, our typical or average project cost is under $50,000. And like a typical project might be, say, a water supply project to bring clean water to a remote community of maybe 300 people. So we're talking pretty small scale, but huge impact. Let's see here. And I'll just skim over this very quickly, but our mission and vision here at EWB, I think they're pretty unique and something you might be able to relate to. One important thing about our mission is that it's twofold, actually. So number one, we are here to empower communities through engineering projects. Number two, we are here to also equip and train leaders to help solve the pressing issues of today. So it's kind of that twofold mission that makes our organization unique and helps deliver our impact. So here I'll kind of transition into our kind of where we got started or kind of the basis behind our work. The numbers on the top here are pretty staggering, as you can see, and those just relate to around our world, those that lack basic infrastructure. So we're talking still billions of people in the world lack access to clean water or sanitation. And really that is where we have found our niche. So currently right now as an organization, we have over 480 active projects in 38 countries and 27 states here in the US. So our impact is far and wide. You can see the distribution of projects on the right. Most of them, about 2/3 of our projects are based on water. Following that, sanitation and structures are pretty evenly split. So think latrines or a new school. And then after that, energy and agricultural and civil works kind of bring in the rest. And this just gives you an idea. So overall, across those 480 active projects, we're impacting the lives of over 1.4 million people or million beneficiaries, which is just a huge number. And those projects are partnered with over communities worldwide, which is, again, another testament to our spread and impact. Kind of to dive a bit further, we have both domestic and international projects. I specifically support our international work, which is the majority of our organization. Within that sector, within that group, we have over 390 active projects. So just a lot of work going on right now. And all of our projects are a three-way partnership between a community, a local partner, or a local NGO, and a EWB USA chapter here in the States. So it's that three-way partnership that really ties everything together and has a good balance between community, expert, and kind of everyone who can kind of make it all work. And those agreements or those partnerships that are made at the beginning of a project are made for at least 5-year durations. So we're not in the business of coming, building something and walking away. We take the time to form a partnership, understand the problem, design a solution that fits the setting, and stay alongside the community throughout. And before we turn projects over, we also make sure we have comprehensive monitoring and evaluation and maintenance plans set up so the community can maintain their projects after we leave. With our international work, we operate out of 5 offices. So we have one regional office that's based in Uganda. They support activities in 4 surrounding countries in Africa. We have 3 country offices in Latin America, 2 in Central America with Guatemala and Nicaragua. And we also have our most recent country office that was started in Ecuador in 2020. Our headquarters office is based in Denver. That's where I work out of, but I actually live here in the Springs, just a couple miles away. Part of the success, or what you can attribute to our impact, is just related to our very structured and formal approach to our projects. So at this point in time, we have a very well-defined process that all of our projects will go through when a project kind of comes to formation, when we find a team that fits, as well as through the full process of engineering, design, and construction. So this on the bottom just kind of outlines our process related to starting a partnership, assessing the setting or assessing the context to make sure that we understand where we're working and the unique circumstances in each project. We eventually come up with a full design that we will build in the community. The community are involved in the design process and also financially contribute to the projects, so they have a sense of buy-in in the work. And also 1 year following construction, come back and do a formal monitoring trip where basically we check up on the project, make sure it's working correctly, make sure everyone understands how to keep it operating before we close out and move on. And we also have found success in using a standard set of indicators that we track success with. So we use the same set of data points across all similar projects and all locations that really helps us know what our impact truly is. Let's see here. So I'm an engineer. We like numbers, we like graphs. I had to throw a couple in. This right here just gives you an idea of our completed projects from, it's kind of hard to see, but from 2014 to 2021. So completed projects in our definition is once construction is complete. So substantial completion on whatever we're building. As you can see, from 2014 to 2021, we've maintained some relative stability in the amount of projects we've been able to complete. So if you can't see it, last year in 2021, we finished 75 projects among those 300, 400 active. And the different colors represent the different offices or different locations where our projects were delivered. So we have different chunks supported by different groups, but overall, this just shows that, even regardless of the calamity that was the last couple of years, we were still able to keep our projects and our impact moving forward. A second fun graph just shows a shift that I will highlight in my next slide, just related to the percentage of our projects that are completed with local support. So what I mentioned earlier, we have support through 3 country offices and a regional office. This is part of a bigger strategic shift in the organization and trying to support work locally and have staff on the ground, boots on the ground that can help maintain quality, check up on things, and just help deliver projects. So it's been part of a greater than 5-year shift at this point, and we think it's going very well. As you can see from a pretty linear graph, we've maintained a lot of success in our country office projects. And last year we had almost 70% of our completed work was through those established offices, which is just a great testament to those teams. Kind of tying that to where things are at now and where we're going as an organization. One thing to know is that we are a learning organization. We have to shift with the times, as all nonprofits do. And throughout the past few years, we've learned that diversification in our project delivery approach is key. We've had to get really creative in our solutions to continue projects moving forward and to maintain our impact regardless of what challenges might come up. We've also noticed that the growth of our country office projects has just led to real impact on those countries and seen significant projects being completed, which is just a very positive thing. And over the past years, we've also noticed that we can operate remotely. So when COVID first started, as most people, we were at a shutdown. Our teams couldn't travel, we couldn't get to the field, and we were kind of scratching our heads on what to do. But through the last couple of years, our teams and communities have been very resilient and figured out ways to still move forward with work remotely, using a lot of local contractors, local contacts, having to kind of dig in the weeds and find the solutions locally because our teams weren't able to travel. And also we've noticed that our work works. So we spend a lot of time training and capacity building. And we've noticed, or we're getting to the point now where when we're collecting long-term data as far as like how our projects perform, we really are noticing impact in increasing community capacity. The maintain our projects is just improving and improving. The lifespans are improving, which is just a great sign for the longevity of infrastructure projects. So these are some great things that we've seen over the past couple of years and what we'll likely kind of see in the next couple of years as well. Let's see here. And this is actually my last slide, but I wanted to add this in just to kind of connect it to our home roots. So as a volunteer-driven organization, like I said, we have 250 chapters with thousands of volunteers. All of these dots are chapters that are spread across the US. We have both university and professional. And here in the state of Colorado, we have 8 chapters. So there's plenty of interest and involvement here in the state of Colorado. So we actually don't have a chapter here in Colorado Springs. Previously we did, but it's folded a few years ago. But it's one of those things where if we get a group of interested people, we could definitely start a chapter up and kind of jump into these projects on our own. If not, there are many other ways to connect. So we have 4 different university teams, 4 different professional teams. Professionals, just think of them as, they have a day job and they do this on the weekends and nights. And then the university teams are very always looking for opportunities to learn and grow. And it's through these chapters that other Rotary clubs here in Colorado have found ways to connect, and through sponsorships with grants like Rotary Global grants and just connecting in your own community. So also, as a volunteer organization, we are always open to anyone who's interested in help. So if you have any experience in engineering or construction, international development, please come our way. We are always looking for people with that skill set, people interested in giving back. So our registration and whatnot, all of that is free on our website, and you can just kind of find all the information there as well. That's actually all I had for today. I'm happy to field a couple of questions. If not, no worries, but I do have an email address if anybody would be interested in connecting down the line about ways to connect with EWB or any questions about my presentation. So thank you all. Are there any questions? Yes, sir. In the back. That's a great question. Related to sources of funding. So our projects, the funding comes from both the EWB chapter team and the community. The projects are typically 95% funded by our project teams, our volunteer teams, and they are actually responsible for raising those funds. So our chapter teams go out, they put on fundraisers, they apply for grants. That's why there's a lot of interest in global grants. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but with Rotary Global Grants, just to kind of bring in funds, and then we'll apply those to our project. So it's largely grassroots in that our teams provide the funding, the engineering, the manpower, kind of all of that. Yeah, other questions? Yes, sir. Our budget, meaning like a typical project budget. The whole organization's budget. That one's kind of tricky to answer. But again, to kind of highlight what a typical project would look like. So we're 2/3 water projects, water supply, water storage, water treatment. In a typical water project, so I do a lot of cost estimation, and our typical water project runs about $30,000, and that would be like a well, some storage tanks, a distribution line, and then maybe some taps like at your house, and that's maybe 30 grand. So we're not talking like huge dollar amounts, but again, magnitudes, larger impacts. Any other questions? Absolutely, if appropriate. So part of our detailed assessment phase is our engineering teams will usually go visit that community and do detailed assessments for both technical and non-technical aspects. So for example, they'll do water samples or take a lot of samples for bacterial, whatever contamination there might be, and then they will design a solution for that. Throughout the time, actually, water purification is a sensitive subject because communities will oftentimes have a preference on how their water tastes. So chlorination, for example, like adding chlorine to water is one of the most common ways to treat water, but it also can leave a really funky taste if you don't dose it correctly. And if your water tastes funky, you might not drink it. So we've kind of learned the hard way. So it's kind of that the evolving process of finding the solution that works best, and we'll go with that. But, yes. That's a fantastic question. The short answer would be that the communities that apply for or request services from EWB are largely underserved. So they have to meet certain criteria to kind of prove that they're in an underserved setting. So in our international projects, it's a very long application process. And, some of the questions will be, are there engineering services locally? The question is often yes, but can you afford it? You hire somebody to design something for you. Can you build it? So it's that involved process that kind of makes it unique. I'm not sure if I answered your question there, but good enough. Any other? Yes, sir. I personally don't, but I know Rotary International have direct connection with some of our country offices. So, where we have staff on the ground. So I know, for example, the Guatemala office worked very closely with Rotary and our Nicaragua office as well, just delivering projects in kind of more of a direct implementation. We cut out the middleman sometimes and cut out the engineering team, and it's more Rotary and our country office teams just jump right in. But yeah, there is a precedence there. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
for you here. There you go. And then we also figured that you could use some extra coffee there. So we provided the cup anyway. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So if you're wondering why we had 2 of these types of companies 2 weeks in a row, it's because it is Water and Sanitation Month for Rotary. So just wanted to make you aware of that. You guys have a great week.